And I'm back with more .hack GU.
Shino's waiting. Let's go to Delta Hidden Forbidden Holy Ground.
Yeah, and you'll get an email from a bunch of people. Epilogue sort of shit. But most importantly, you get a talk with Shino. So back where it was. So I'm gonna have more than enough to talk about later on. I'm just gonna let the scene play out for itself.
Shino.
Long time. Do you remember?
Huh?
What we talked about here?
About the goddess. About Aura.
Haseo. I was watching you the entire time. Ida. You see, my consciousness was faintly connected to Ovan's left arm.
Yeah, Ovan's sister said the same thing.
I was with Ovan much of the time, and caught glimpses here and there of what happened.
Ovan. He sacrificed himself to stop Kubia, which he himself had created.
That man. He saw things through in a way only he could. And that's exactly how he wanted it to end. It's as if we were just living in Ovan's personal story, characters in a play.
It wasn't like that.
I know. Haseo?
Atoli.
I asked her to come. Well...
Your consciousness finally came back, Shino! That's so wonderful!
Thank you, Atoli.
Haseo was right! Your PC really does look just like mine! But... our personalities are different. It's insulting if I say you're like me, huh?
God, Atoli's such a third wheel.
Haseo was always trying to cure you. He tried really hard. And for a long time.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, well, goodbye. And good luck.
Wait!
Let's start the Twilight Brigade again.
Huh?
With just the two of us. We'll go find Ovan. Haseo? I saw it all. Everything.
Shino.
Now be honest with yourself.
Oh.
You're watching, aren't you? Ovan.
You do you, game. I'm not interested in what you're buying here. But look, I'll go over it in a different episode. But this is their way of sort of saying what they want to do, but also kind of giving you an out, I guess. But yes, that was Dot Hack. This would have been the end of the original series, and I've said as much. This is one of the best games of the PS2 era, which again says so much. God, that's was so good. But you also have to remember, this was not done with a lot of fanfare, because this was a decent, big, decent enough franchise, but nobody was like clamoring for it, and I don't think people do anymore. The term underrated and overrated and whatever only means so much. But to be fair, this is definitely one of those like underrated experiences. And I truly admit, yeah, there are some things about this game I don't like. And I've tried to dodge most of them, personally. Issues with OBS aside, or issues with editing around, like, all the questing and shit as best as I could. It is what it is. It's not perfect. Oro was voiced by Stephanie Shea. You could say it. Jesus fucking Christ. Way to keep it mysterious. No, it was Stephanie. I heard her voice. God damn it. Anyway, that's aside from that. It's weird. They list Tabby as Stephanie Shea, but they won't list Aura. Want to keep it mysterious? I don't know. I know who it is. I've heard her voice for 15 years. Anyway, actually no. It's more like 20 at this point. Anyway, but yeah, speaking of that, this cast is great. I know people shit on dubs. I don't fucking care. This is one of the best ones. The mechanics at play aren't always the greatest because go to a dungeon, go to the bottom of a dungeon, go to the outer dungeon, do the avatar fight, do the whatever, then you fight the final boss. Yeah, it's annoying. The ping-ponging of levels and making it either super hard or super easy, you know. But the willingness to try things is always important. For what I say about, you know, staying in someone's lane or whatever for other franchises, you know, which I get caught up in quite a bit. It's, if you're willing to try things and if it works great like this. If it doesn't work, then whatever, that's a problem for that game. But, you know, for the game's faults, you still have a million characters to choose from. Some good, some bad. You get the interweaving narrative of Haseo in the early game being a complete asshole and then turning it quite 180. Not quite 180, but around enough that all of the Ovan stuff, all of the Shino stuff, all the Alcade stuff, and yes, even the Atoli stuff. Again, I want to go over the whole Atoli Shino Alcade thing in a different episode that makes more sense. But the fact that they give you those ideas, that they play with them enough that it doesn't come across as a cliche, that it comes across as something that makes sense, rather than something that would just be there just because we did it. A lot of the interactions with Haseo make sense, both positively and negatively. A lot of the interactions with who are the villains, do they make sense? Who are the villains, you know, the allies turned villains or the villains turned allies kinds of thing? Do they make sense? They do. I always say that the best games are the ones that give you enough stuff, storyline-wise, that everything makes sense. And even if you're waiting to get an answer, if it answers your question eventually, then yeah. This is one of those times where it answers everything. I think the Kubiya thing was just there to pop the original dot hackers, right? Because we played that before it. And it makes sense storyline-wise because Ovan wasn't really the villain of the piece. He was a sympathetic villain, but, you know, you couldn't end the game on him, I guess. But Kubiya did seem like a bit of a cop-out. Because, hey, look at the thing we brought back. It's dangerous and whatnot. And it's not just because I destroyed it in 5 seconds. It's just a generalization, I think. But they had to find something to finish the game off, I guess, and they do it well enough. Everything seems to come full circle. Everything seems to make sense when you look at it. And the more you dig into it. And I think this is the sort of game where you can play 2 or 3 times and recognize what they're going for, rather than the one time and it not making sense or anything like that. Because everybody's going to have their own interpretations of, like, who is Haseo supposed to be with, or who is Ovan, who is Shino, who are all these people, because they're not showing themselves. They're showing their other selves, in a way. So it's kind of skirting that line of an online personality versus someone else's personality. How much of that are they really showing, right? How much of your true self are you showing to somebody you don't know online, and how much of a barrier can that be? Almost kind of in that social link kind of sense, like a Persona game would. And by and large, I think most of these people are kind of the same as they would be offline, but there is still that gauge of it. As far as the game design, like mimicking an MMO, I don't play MMOs. I don't know how effective it is at mirroring the MMO experience, because it's an action RPG. It's a single-player RPG with some elements of that interpretation. That's what Dahak has always been. It's mimicking an MMO without being one. They made something, I think they called Fragment, using the, I want to say the original engine. So again, Maybe that was more of an MMO style game. I don't know. Remember, this game came out in 2006. I'm sure a lot of stuff has changed since then. But it is still meant to be a single-player experience. And then, of course, you do have some of the anime cliches on top of everything. Like, how much of that plays into it? How much of the fact do you have to play .hack sign, or the original games, or watch .hack roots, you know, those things. Realistically, I think this stands alone on its own as a better version of the original franchise. Because they're not telling a drastically different story, they're just doing it from a different character set. But they did it better. They had better visuals, they had better time, they had more to work with. Because they'd already created sort of the infrastructure and they made a stronger game experience. The gameplay is very hacky slashy, but it works. There's simplicity and elegance in that simplicity. You can just kind of mindlessly destroy things all you like, and it's fun, you know. And there's something cathartic about, hey, I can just go stab things. Yay, I can go do whatever I want to do. Okay, now I'm back in the dungeons or the quests. You know. And I would still think that this game is something that people should play, especially now that, like, if you have the PS4 and want to play it, do so. If you just wanted to watch me do it or somebody else play it, that's another thing. But this is one of those games I always go back to and enjoy. And yay, I will save it. Hooray! So what have we earned? What have we earned via all this stuff? Well, you are not the strongest. Oh, okay, well, whatever. Be happy it's a message from Bordeaux? Okay. Okay, so this is like post-game shit here. Event information, marriage plus. Okay, 2 people pledge their love. Okay.
I'm confused. I don't know who I should give these feelings to.
Well, yeah, there's only like 4 viable options in this game, and I don't like one of them, so whatever. Anyway, I'll get into that when we do the Forest of Pain. That could be like the dungeon rant for the Forest of Pain thing. We convert the thing, select volume 4. Okay, so that's converting shit to volume 4. Special words. Barbecue plate. Okay. Well, I still have to go to the Forest of Pain to do the thing. Sudden message. Sweepstakers, Palace, Emperor. No, that's not that. Okay. This is in regards to NetSlum. This town's an unofficial server, so a player can't come there. But you're special. I've altered the town transfer feature so you and your friends can come. Whenever you like. Okay. Aura. The world was saved to your strong emotions. But in this eternal world, there will be a time where you can protect once again. Using your powers, I will entrust you with that power. The 3 blades created to protect me. A power that I have no use for, as I will go to sleep. Now take the blade and protect the world, little children of Morgana. So that gives you Azure Kite, Balmung, and Orca if you want them. And of all people, Bordeaux in your party. It seems you've done some great things recently, but don't let it get to you. I will eventually take you down by my own hands. You better be careful. For now, take my member address. From now on, I'll hunt you down, even if you don't want me to. You think you can get away from me? You just wish, huh? What a weird choice to... You do know you stabbed my friend, right? Why would I be your partner? I don't know. Now, this one makes total sense. It's been a while, Haseo. We haven't exchanged messages in a while. It seems as though we've been sleeping for a long time, but during that time you fought for me the entire online world through many struggles. I'm sure it was rough. That's how I think. Even so, you came to see me in real life. Thank you, really. Hey, it may be hard to do things like before, but let's go adventuring together. And you lost everything, including my member address, right? Well, here it is, so if you need anything, be sure to invite me. I'll see you around.
Shino.
And yeah, so there's that. And yeah, Bordeaux, of all people. And then there's Shino. So yeah, I'm probably going to be using Shino and Alcade a lot.
Well...
Huh? What? Promise? What? Huh? What the hell? What is this? Oh, do I not need to... Do I not need to do the Forest of Pain? Holy shit.
Promise,
Okay, weird. Cause, I was expecting having to go to the... I think, I'll describe it in a different video. But I'll worry about that now, right? If I don't have to do any of that stuff, it's fine, but there's a lot to unpack there, so, I'll go over why it's a difference in the original game, and I guess what they're looking for in this one, so, but yeah. And that maybe changes what I do for the rest of this playthrough, because if I don't have to do the Forest of Pain, I guess I don't have to, but that was what I was planning on doing, so who knows. But hey, I'll deal with all that next time.